Well, Monday morning, and that's when you suddenly remember you didn't fill up with fuel. Yes, Monday morning, and I did mean to fill up with fuel Friday night, but I was in too much of a rush, so I didn't. I don't mind the whole thing of filling up with fuel. But Monday morning, you just want to be sorted and get out. And that's that. Hopefully you can see all right. I've turned the exposure up to deal with these low light conditions. Turn the grips on. The old mitts are a bit chilly. Yeah, so the weekend was a bit of a washout. I did manage to get out on the Hayabusa Saturday afternoon for an hour or so. But yeah, it's a bit of a washout. Rained most of yesterday, Sunday. And I had the grandkids round anyway, so I wouldn't have been allowed out to play if I wanted to. But what with illnesses in the house and holiday, I hadn't seen the grandkids for about a month. So it's really good seeing them. For about 15 minutes, and then they just get on your tits. How rude, Grandad. Grandad, how rude. What are you braking for? The sheer hell of it. So yeah, typical commute. Obviously we're still in a What are we in? Early February. Is it early? Yeah, it is, isn't it? Early February. It's still a bit dark in the mornings. The evenings have got a bit better. It's well, about 5, half 5 when it gets dark now. So that's a little bit better. Yeah, just because you indicate, don't give you right away, Mr. Van Man. Yeah, so it's good to have the lighter evenings, drawing in. Another month or so and it should be light going home. I thought I had another gear then. So yes, managed the Hayabusa Saturday. Looked at this one yesterday, just as the grandkids were going, just lent it over to see what the oil was like. And it looked like, and it did fool me, that there was none in it. But there's like a film over the inside of the spyglass that you see your oil level through, and I think it's a bit of condensation, and it looked like it was empty, so I rushed out and got some oil and was like, oh my god, it's now burning oil like a bastard, which for the abuse it's had you can't really blame it. And when I got back with the oil, only from my shed, it's not like I did a mass run to Halfords or something stupid. When I got the oil and I looked at it carefully and shielded the sunlight from the view glass, it wasn't that bad at all. It's about halfway up the spyglass, so I added about, I think it was about a quarter of a litre in the end, just to top it right up, just to make sure. But yeah, that now threw me. And there's a bit of condensation in the filler cap. I must look, which is terrible, and I hate to admit this, but I must look to see where you check the water on this, because it's not an obvious, not to me anyway. The other bikes I've had, the header tank's been hidden down behind the plastics here, but there's nothing. Not that I can see easily anyway. So I'll have to get the manual out and check that. Hopefully I'm not losing water through my head gaskets. I think it is just condensation where I rag the shit out of the bike and it doesn't have time to settle or cool before I just turn the key off and walk away from it. And especially leaning it over to one side on the stand, it puts all that heat going up that side of the engine casing, so perhaps that's the reason the eyeglass gets condensified. Oh, I don't know. To be fair, it's not been too bad this morning, but recently there's been so many occasions when you got the overtaking lane hoggers, and not subtly either, absolutely blatantly just sat out there, nothing on the inside as far as the eye can see, and they just sat there. And what do you do in that situation? What do you do? I mean, some of them you'll go up behind them and you'll flash and then move over and you'll go past, and for some reason they move straight back out again. which is a bit weird. But some of them you'll go up behind them and you'll flash them to make them aware of your presence on the road, and they just sit there, and some of them even brake check you, and it's like, right, okay. But then if you overtake them on the inside, you get all the flashing lights like you're the idiot, and it's like, well, let's be fair, you shouldn't be out there. Let's be fair, you shouldn't be out there. He's a poet and he don't know what rhyming is. Yeah, so quite a few, and it's not just vans. There's a high percentage of vans, but there's a lot more cars doing it these days. Or you'll get the long overtakes. They'll overtake one car and the next car's 14 miles away, and they're like, well, I just well stay out here doing 60 mile an hour. And then at what speed what speed is filtering safe? Anything from 25 mile an hour below, or 30 mile an hour or below, or 80 mile an hour and below. I mean, where do you draw the line? And then there's those occasions when the bloke in the outside lane is quite clearly just not making progress in the outside lane just to stop you getting past. Which is a little bit naughty, but then if they want to play games, then, you know, is then filtering at 80 mile an hour okay? Not that I've ever done it, not that I ever would condone doing such a crazy thing, but is there circumstances where you think, do you know what, that should be in the highway code? I mean, it's great that we have the ability to, the legal ability to filter, or else I wouldn't be a biker. There's no way I'd be a biker if you didn't have the ability to filter. It's it would be okay if there was only one or two cars on the road, but in busy situations, not to be able to filter, that would be a nightmare, absolute nightmare. Sitting there in traffic, especially with some of the gorgeous weather we get in England. Well, here I am. Home sweet home for the next 11 hours. Another day over. Survived another one. Just. I think my grandkids took more out of me than I thought they would yesterday. The old eyes were shutting today. My life force drained. Just a husk. But the day itself, not too bad actually, which makes a change. Not too many. Well, no blockages actually. One of the conveyor belts messed about, but that was sorted. Not ready sorted. Nice man. Cheers, buddy. Another nice man. Cheers, buddy. Can we? It's a bright light. Lucky it says keep clear on the floor, so even I wouldn't know. Missed that one. There you go. Take it a bit easy while it warms up. But yes, another day done. Did a hammer change at the end there. Big 110 kilogram bell shaped hammers that spin round in the mill and pulverise the scrap into little tiny pieces. 2 pieces, and then it's sent abroad. And that's what I do. I run the fragging machine. It fragmentises the scrap. Well, I think it's a shredder actually, not a frag. So yeah, not a terrible day. But look at it, look, it's still a little bit light. It was a little bit soul destroying that it was light still at 5 o'clock. And if I didn't have to do the hammers, I could have shot straight and probably had a play around the little roads. Having said that, they're probably still covered in shit. So there you go. That's a Monday commute. Not very interesting, but I thought I'd get it in there and I'd try out the low light setting again. But that'll do.